Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm sure a lot of you now are aware that I'm actually a contestant on the Great British Sewing Bee, so this vlog in particular is purely based around my reaction and my thoughts from the first week. If you've watched the programme, you'll know that I did make it through the first week, so at least one more week on the screen, so that's a real positive. When you put yourself forward for things like television shows where it's going to be on telly and people are going to see you, you're always, well, I personally am always quite apprehensive about, you know, what people are actually going to think about me as a person, how I then perceive on television, and just really how I come across to the general public and make myself look. I'm absolutely overwhelmed by the support that I've had from you guys and from everyone that's been in contact with me or watched the show. It's been amazing, and it's really great to see that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, how much experience you are, people are still willing to back you. Everyone in Wales, everyone back home from Andover where I'm from, they've all supported me in my journey and everything that I've done. So first of all, thanks for everyone for that, and I really do appreciate it. I hope I don't let too many people down. As for the first episode itself, obviously the first garment I really did struggle with. Trying to match the striped chevrons right down the front seems to be a really simplistic thing on the face of it, but actually the way that the pattern was placed, and I thought I'd followed it correctly, and obviously I didn't. Started sewing it together and realised that the chevron, rather than going in the V that it's supposed to, went directly on a diagonal down the shirt. I then done that again a second time, so it was really sort of strict for time and probably wasted around 45 minutes of the challenge just trying to do that. Luckily for me, Charlotte, she did come along and she helped me how to actually cut this out in the right way so I could then proceed with the rest of it. If it wasn't for Charlotte, I probably wouldn't have got anywhere near finishing that garment. So Charlotte, if you're listening, thank you very much, babe. As for the judges, they can be tough. I suppose they're there to give as much constructive criticism as they can do, because without their criticism, I don't think I probably progressed as fast as I did and as fast as I have done. It's such a pleasure to be involved in such a show, to be honest, and be surrounded by so many like-minded people that really do have the same venture and the same journey and the same beliefs as me, and for me personally, having that is such a great positive experience, and I'll hold it with me for such a long time. Purely because when you sew like I do, and it's so sort of solitude, and I'm very much alone when I sew, it's nice to then break out and see other people that have the same passions as you and really bounce off of them. And for me, just learning from so many people such as the judges and the other contestants really has been great. Now the second challenge itself was the alteration challenge. Before going into the sewing bee, I thought that it would be a nice easy challenge and that thoughts would come to me straight away and I'd be fine. But actually, to be honest, I'd rather sit with an idea for around a day and really make my mind up on what fabrics I want to put into it, how I want to alter it, and then I go for a nice slow process there. So being rushed through this really wasn't, I suppose, my forte in the first week, and I really did struggle with it, to be honest. It wasn't easy. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have made a skirt, considering we were all making skirts the next day, but I think, like myself, and I'm sure a lot of the other sewers were like this, you kind of just want to ease your way into the competition and just find your feet before you go buck wild crazy and trying to make the most extravagant things that you don't even know that you could actually make. For me, I was trying to do something different because I never really made skirts before, so I thought this was me still kind of trying to push myself. Now going into the made to measure challenge, I was sort of up against the wall, to be honest. I felt like I hadn't performed to my best. What I'd sewn was actually really clean and sewn really well. I just hadn't properly finished my garments, and it just clearly wasn't working out for me on the first day, so I needed to really buck my ideas up. I knew that the number one thing for me was that I needed to make sure I finished a garment, and I'm just so glad that I did. Obviously I got off to a very rocky start, having not been able to find one of my pattern pieces, which for me was devastating, and I probably spent 45 minutes to an hour of the challenge time actually searching for that pattern piece. When I finally found it, then I sort of was rushing through trying to get everything done and trying to make sure that the number two thing was that it fitted my model as best as it could be, and bless her, it really did, and she was an absolute superstar on the day, so it was brilliant. I was so pleased with how the skirt came out in the end, and it clearly was the thing that managed to keep me there for an extra week. So the judges' comments were brilliant, and I really enjoyed sort of the made to measure challenge in this, and I felt like it gave me a chance to express who I am as a person and the sort of things that I like to make. and in terms of my styling, I get to style the model, so I'd like to think it's a nice reflection of how I'd like to look. Unfortunately, someone did have to go home every week, and this week it was Duncan. Duncan's such a lovely guy and an incredible sewer, so I wish him the best of luck. And it's just a weird feeling, you know, going onto a show and meeting so many people that you really do get along with and you genuinely like, and it doesn't really feel like a competition until the end of the episode when someone actually does have to go home. You know, everyone in the Zombie found it hard because nobody really wants to go home, and as much as it's not a competition, it is, so we all just keep fighting as much as we can to stay there for as long as possible. Just to wrap things up for this one, guys, overall thank you so much for supporting me and watching the episode. If you haven't watched it, you can still watch it on BBC iPlayer, and I look forward to it next week, and thanks for your support again. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below and follow me for future tutorials.